What's good,
Yo,
man?
what up?
Ain't not much, man. Just trying to enjoy mini camp right now. And honestly, man, I just been. This is probably the closest I've followed mini camp for the Niners in 5 years, 6 years. So yeah, man, that's what I've been on as far as that. Catching some basketball here and there. Watching some ridiculous ass whippings happen. But yeah, that's it, man. What you got going on? You been paying attention to the Eagles camp or what?
No, I mean yes, I have, but
Yeah.
it's the camp, so keep it low. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Well, for you, I understand that, but for me in my situation, we went after, we had T.O. son that we picked up as an undrafted free agent, right? And we didn't know if we were going to like officially sign him to like an actual deal. And as of right now, he is he is signed. Um, he's made it through a couple of cuts already, and
Yeah,
it's looking like he may squeak through and make it to the 53-man roster. So seeing Terrell Owens Jr. on the squad right now is something that I'm paying attention to. T.O. being my favorite, me personally, my favorite player of all
yeah.
time. You know, Shout out to Marshall Falk though; he's right up there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm following that closely. What do they call it? A legacy. We got a legacy in the building, and then trying to figure out whether
Well,
or not,
not really, not really.
not
Because
really.
but let's be very clear. Terrell said it out his mouth on San Francisco radio. He don't claim y'all like that. He said
Look,
he said it's Eagles over San Fran all day.
and I'll be honest with you, I'm okay with that, Mark. The city of Philadelphia, the Eagles fan base, they showed T.O. the amount of love that I wish he would have gotten in San Francisco. Now, granted, there was some other stuff going on in San Francisco with T.O. And out of all the things they try to say that he did wrong, it's one that the situation with him and Jeff Garcia is probably the one that I say okay. Like he was wild and he did a lot with that. So like, that's fine. But yes, I'm okay with you saying that. Philadelphia showed him the
I,
proper
I
respect.
didn't I didn't say it. He said it. I'm just
Well, you're mentioning it now, so yeah, nah, definitely, nah, that's cool, man, and I like that. But either way, that's where he got his start. He's being talked about in San Francisco as being a legacy. It's really weird because within the media, the younger guys really like T.O. You know what I mean? And the younger guys are like, man, we got T.O. son. And then you still got some of the older guys in the San Francisco media that's just like, we remember. We're not going to forget what he did. Like, you know what I'm saying? So not everybody is feeling the same way that I am about T.O.'s son being there. Some people are just shrugging their shoulders. So, but yeah, nah, man. But real quick before I get off this topic, the quarterback we took early, he actually looks like the real deal. So that's a good sign. The second wide receiver we took late seems to be better already from what they describe. He's basically already better than Jawan Jennings. So it looks like we came away with two wide receivers in this draft and at least one cornerback. So I'm happy with the way my draft has went so far. Just looking at what everybody's saying about camp, but that can change once you get on the field for real. So
hmm
yeah, but that's it, man. I just wanted to talk about my team real quick for a minute,
I
before
mean
you know before the nonsense starts.
that's cool. But you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about my team. There's no need to talk about them right now. We just gonna show up. And you know what I mean? I'm all about business right now. I'm standing on business,
Hey, that's good. That's what's
I'm
up.
standing on business right now. And you know what? If you guys think I came here to play with y'all today, you
God,
guys,
God damn it, I'm not.
I'm
Hey,
here
man.
I'm here for the shits today. Let's go ahead
I
and
ain't
get
have time before, but today I got time, cuz.
you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna do this today. I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
So
okay. Okay, what up, Rob? What up, Rob?
what up? So
Hey, how Drake May look in the camp, man? How Drake May look in the camp? I know you got some news, man. Maybe you don't want to talk about it. I don't know. I just figured I'd ask you to throw that shot. You know, I don't really fuck with the Patriots like that. I just had to throw that shot. Man, Mark, as somebody who doesn't really mess with the Patriots or as an entire organization, man, how good did it feel to you to see Drake May come off the board in that moment?
I tend not to care about what happens with the relevant teams. So
Man, that's wild. That's wild. Look, it put a smile on my face, Mark.
I mean,
I was a little bit concerned about Rob at the time. I was like, I don't know.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying when the relevant teams choose to remain irrelevant, I'll leave them there. And I'll be like, all right.
When they choose to, hey, look, hey, that's true. That was an active choice. Look at him. He said they thinking they got the wrong guy. Yo, man, like what on tape made you think that you got the right guy? I didn't see any tape from Drake May that made me think that he was that guy.
But I'm gonna tell you what, I like that segue because I'm gonna take that opportunity because talking about the wrong guy, Rudy Gobert wins Defensive Player of the Year and Jokic wins MVP. This is his third MVP in 4 years, and his title here is History Being Made or Written, and I like that title. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, guys. This is what we're talking about right now, is the fact that we are looking at Rudy Gobert winning Defensive Player of the Year, and if we were to pull up the stats so you guys could see it between him and the rookie of the year, which was Wembanyama, you would see that it's not even close.
It's not close.
It's not even remotely close. Wembanyama should have won Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year.
Yes, absolutely.
But the powers that be said, no, you're a rookie. We don't hand those out to rookies. You can't have that, sir. We're gonna give this to somebody else. That is not named you.
Hey, man, you know what it feels like to me, man? It feels like they giving Wembanyama a warm welcome to American sports, bro. Never mind who you thought it was.
Right. But it's weird what's going on in the NBA, or it's weird what's going on. It's hard to figure out what the agenda is here, because on one hand, and I'm just gonna show my hand here a little bit. Jokic wins his third MVP in 4 years, and now let's be very clear. His first MVP, yeah, go ahead and give it to him.
Yeah.
His second MVP, that should have been Embiid's MVP that year. That year, it was clear Embiid was better. But they wanted Jokic to be a back-to-back for whatever reason. And they pushed that. And they pushed that narrative. And so they made Jokic a back-to-back. And to make up for it the next year, they gave Embiid the MVP when it should have been Jokic. So I'm letting you guys know, Jokic does deserve 2 MVPs. It's just not the year in, last year's MVP should have been Jokic. And the year before that should have been Embiid. Are you guys following me?
Yeah.
So now, but they made it up to Embiid last year. They didn't give it to Jokic because they cheated him the year before. Now, this year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was on the best team in the NBA and the best player on the best team, and by far with the numbers, in which, again, wasn't really all that close. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets cheated. and he gets cheated by a wide margin. A wide margin. You said it was
It wasn't even
79
close.
votes?
79. He got 79 out of the 99 votes Jokic did, and then SGA only got 18 of the remaining 20. I think
Okay.
there was one vote for, there was like one vote for what's his name, Giannis, and then there was a vote for Luka.
Okay. So,
But yeah,
so basically, we are looking at guys here that they keep pushing this Jokic narrative, and I would pull up the stats for you guys, but I'm trying to make a bigger point, or at least I'm trying to get to where my confusion is coming from, and because on one hand, I say to myself, the NBA is trying to become a global brand, so I'm trying to look at this in a macro sense of what they're doing here. They are trying to become a global brand, and what better way to become a global brand than to make the foreigner the face, instead of these U.S. citizens and things of that nature, or these guys that are very much embracing the U.S. culture, because Joel Embiid is not a U.S. citizen, but he has very much embraced the United States of America to the point that he became a U.S. citizen. That like, if you want to make the global reach bigger, show that foreign players are thriving,
yeah,
and so that way more people or more young guys from overseas want to play basketball and look up to these guys like Jokic. That's how I see it. But this is where the confusion comes in, because if that's the case, why not show Wembanyama? Oh, can't pronounce it.
Wembanyama. Yeah.
Thank you, Wembanyama. Why not show it that this rookie, who was also a foreign player, he won Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. So it's like, I do not understand what the agenda is that you're pushing when I think about it, and from how I thought things were working.
Yeah, because clearly for Wemby not to get Defensive Player of the Year, it was a concerted effort. You're not going to convince me that all these guys that vote on this, that have conversations with each other, maybe not everybody's talking to each other, but a lot of them do, and a lot of them have daily conversations, and a lot of them call each other to say, hey, who are you voting for, and what's your reasoning behind voting for the person you're voting for? And then subsequently, they will say why they're voting for this person, and they kind of try to bounce their ideas off of each other to try to see if they should change their tone or what they're doing.
Right.
And we know that they can influence each other to a certain degree, but I feel like this is so much deeper than them just influencing each other. I promise you, I feel like it was a concerted effort to make sure that Wemby does not win Defensive Player of the Year. Like, whether that's coming directly from the media, or whether that's coming directly from the NBA, or both collaborating to get to that conclusion, I'm saying there is collusion happening right now, man. Clear as day, right in front of your face. Like, with the Jokic stuff, people can make pretty good arguments for Jokic getting these MVPs, but when you compare it to history, that's where we can shoot it down. But they still have pretty good arguments. There is zero argument that I could give you right now, Mark, that I don't think would get laughed out of the building for Rudy Gobert to win Defensive Player of the Year. There's nothing that I could give you that wouldn't get laughed out of the building. So, like, that's where it's so clear to me that this is a concerted effort by the NBA to make sure that Wemby does not get that Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year at the same time. And what it comes down to is it's never been done before. As far as I know, it's never been done before. And if and if he's going to be the first to do it, I feel like they would want that to be an American player, although they're trying to become a global brand. And real quick,
I want to answer.
Yeah, I was going to answer him right now. So, Matt,
okay.
Let me answer, and then you can follow up. So, Matt, you said the NBA is a global brand. They aren't trying, and NBA is more global than NFL. They are more global than the NFL because the sport is American football. It's an American sport, and that's why it's more global than NFL. You know what I'm saying? So basketball is already an international sport, so that's why they're more global than NFL. But at the same time, you're missing the point. The NBA isn't trying to be global on the scale that the NBA is on right now. The NBA is trying to be FIFA.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to be FIFA. They're trying to be World Cup big, right? So they're trying to be Euro League soccer big. You got people in America with 3 professional soccer leagues that exist in America, and they don't watch that. They watch the Euro League soccer games, okay? That's what they're trying to be, okay? They're trying to be the end all be all for basketball fans to watch from everywhere. You know, you go to China, they're watching the Chinese league. They're not watching NBA like that. They want to be the premier league of basketball league globally. Okay, so that's what they're
right. They're trying to be FIFA, but before they get to be FIFA, they need to get to the MLB level of international.
Yes, they do. They do. So that's what they're working on. And if you look at the MLB, there's international players everywhere. Nobody's from America. That's one of the big things they talk about is where are your American players? Where you think about guys like Tatis, you think about Ohtani, like everybody that you can think of, for the most part, ain't from here. That's why Bryce Harper is celebrated. That's why some of these guys are celebrated the way they are, because they're actually from here, man. So yeah, but either way, point is, they're trying to expand, but they're also trying to they're trying to make sure that when they show the world the NBA, they want it to be known that the American NBA players, like basketball is an American sport and the best basketball players are American. That's the way they want to brand it to the other countries.
And okay? and so when you say that from that sense, then it's like, if that's true, if that's what you want to show, then it's like you're talking out of both sides of your neck, because you can't take from Wembanyama and then give to Jokic and take from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's an American. There's only one commonality there that I just don't want to even bother, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't even
Look, you can make that point. I'm going to tell you a few things. There's money involved, right? But also, this is the American way, Mark. Like, this is, like, it doesn't make sense, but in America, it makes plenty sense. Like, this is what we do in America. There's a lot of things that happen in America, whether you're talking about in the government or you just talk about sports or anything that have to, some things don't make sense.
Right.
But whenever it doesn't make sense, you can always trail it back to dollars. Okay? And that's what this comes down to. There's money in making Jokic the MVP.
Absolutely.
There's money in that. He already has a following. They're trying to make that shit bigger.
Now you're getting to something. Now you're getting to something. Because that's another angle. The angle is there's no money in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
There is no money in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If Shai, let's be honest. If Ja Morant had that season, Ja Morant would have been the MVP by a mile. There is money in that. Okay, even with all the stuff that he's done, and even though the NBA is trying to shun him right now to get him to act right, if Ja Morant had that season, he would have been MVP. Let's be real. That's just what it is. So if Anthony Edwards had that season, he would have been MVP. So it's just there's a certain image, there's a certain persona. There's a Shea doesn't you don't see
Oklahoma City is a small. See, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City is a small market, and then you have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander not being a household name yet. So therefore, they're not trying to give MVP to somebody that most people don't even know who he is. So
that's true.
So see, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking when it comes to that front, it makes more sense from there.
Yeah. So I don't know if you got anything else to say. I want to before we move on to the next part of this, because there is the next part of this. I want to look up the votes for Defensive Player of the Year. So, because I'm telling you, Mark, if I'm not mistaken, Wemby barely got any first place votes.
No, he did. No, that was another one that wasn't close.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. Okay, voting results. Yeah, Wemby got 19 votes. Rudy Gobert got 72. So that doesn't make sense to anybody. You know what I mean? But the point is, me and Mark had this conversation offline, and one of the first things that Mark brought up to me was, "Hey, man, the difference." Because I brought up the fact that we've had a Defensive Player of the Year be second All NBA defense. And just in case anybody doesn't remember, Mark, I couldn't remember then, but I remember now. If I'm not mistaken, that was the year that Marc Gasol won over LeBron, because they didn't want LeBron to be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year at the same time. So, but that happened, okay? So, but he brought to my attention All NBA and all that stuff is voted on by the players and the coaches or whatever. The media is involved. The media is not involved in the All NBA team. The media is involved in these MVP votes. The media is involved in the Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all these things. So, brings us to our next topic, which is it time for sports media to take a step back? Because I feel like they're too involved in certain processes. Back in the day when we didn't have social media, back in the day when we weren't able to watch all of the games, Mark, and the people that were going to the games physically in person were the media members. We had to rely on them because we didn't have the information, right? We didn't see. People were listening to games on the radio. People weren't watching. You could talk. They could listen to the radio announcer hype up whatever player they're hyping up, but we, I'm saying, it's all hyperbole. We don't know how good Will is. Now, when you have multiple media members writing articles and saying this is how great he is, or this is how great this person is, and this is what they did, then that kind of solidifies it for us, because we didn't have eyes on these games, man. So fast forward, we're in the social media era, Mark. We have eyes. We can see exactly what's happening, man. Everybody can see what's happening. The media's place when it comes to trying to tell the general populace how good a player is, I feel like their opinion shouldn't be weighted as heavily as it is. You can say, okay, well, they watch more games than you. Fine. Maybe, but not always, Mark. There's, like, if you're a sports media member in Philly, you're probably just going to Sixers game, and whoever they play is whoever you see. Maybe you get to see the Bulls play them 3 times in the season. I don't know, but you're not.
Yeah, if you're a media coverage for a particular team, that's your job. You are focused on this team. You're not focused on what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah. So, and then you have the national media guys who, the problem with them is they're on TV. The national media guys, all of them are on TV somewhere. And they're covering not just the city, they're covering everything. And sometimes they're not even covering just one sport. They're covering all these sports. Their they don't have time to really dig deep and do the research like they want to, man. They got a show to put on. They got to put on and I want to be very clear. They got to put on a show, Mark.
Right.
They got to sensationalize things. They got to lie. They got to stretch the truth. They got to do all these things, man. So to me, it's like sports media. People are already in the mode where we don't trust sports media. We don't trust mainstream sports media, Mark. There's a reason why people like us exist. Podcasts exist, man. So I find it weird that people that have backdoor deals with members within an organization's front office or backdoor deals with players and ball boys or whoever else within an organization to where it's like, hey, you give me information and I take care of you. You're telling me we're supposed to trust these people to give their honest opinion on players when they need those players and they're using these players within the social media era to try to break news because everything spreads so fast? Like, I don't think any of these dudes would be trustworthy if you ask me, man. I can't 100% trust any of these dudes. So it's crazy that they are still allowed to give these votes. And I can't remember who it was, but when the Carmelo Anthony thing happened, when LeBron didn't get his unanimous MVP and the one person voted for Carmelo, we had media members sports media members trying to defend that person. But in the midst of trying to defend them, some of them were coming out and saying, look, man, I probably watched 5 NBA games this year.
Right.
But they still have a vote.
Like, how does that work?
Well, they're grandfathered in because they had a vote for the past 20 years. And then now,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all nonsense to me, man. But right now it's looking like these NBA awards are starting to mean less and less when it comes to your legacy. And that kind of messes things up and it skews things because somebody 20 years from now is going to look back and say, as of right now, there's only 7 players to have 3 MVPs in 4 years. LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, or not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan ain't even one of them because he took 2 years off. But you get my point. This is the elite of the elite. Right. You know what I'm saying? These are guys that are in the top 10 of all time. And now they'll look back and be like, well, Jokic has 3 and 4 years. If Jokic gets the MVP next year, then we're talking about a guy that has 4 and 5 years, right? And then it becomes him, Wilt Chamberlain, and Wilt Chamberlain, and LeBron James. Or excuse me, him, Bill Russell, and LeBron James. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all we have when the future hits. Even though there's video footage out here, let's be honest, there's video footage that exists right now where you can watch full-length NBA, like Chicago Bulls playoff series. Nobody's watching it though. Like, they're not going to come back and watch it. They're just going to go off for the records. Sorry, man, that was my rant. I know I'm ranting right now, but
nah, you was doing well, man. I loved it. Yeah, but it made sense, man. Matthews says First Take and Undisputed are soap operas. You got to skim through it, but the problem with it is that it's a global brand and it reaches all people. So it has very little to do with the fact, like, the regular sports fan will probably, or the hardcore sports fans will take it as that, but the people that are just watching, like, are just catching up. Like, they'll take that as they'll take some of the things that is being said there as gospel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a broad statement here, and this is facts. Like, no matter what artistry you're talking about, acting, you talk about. Even if you're talking about wrestling, you talk about sports. There's more casual fans than quote unquote real fans, okay? Everybody listens to music, but not everybody understands the history behind it. You know what I mean? Not everybody's looking that deep. Most people are looking at the surface. In that surface level, they see Skip Bayless, they see Stephen A. Smith. They say this person has been in this job, in this position for 30 years. Why
Right.
wouldn't I trust him? Why would they have this person in this position if they weren't good at their job? The problem is they don't understand their job is to entertain. The same way that a kid watching wrestling at first doesn't understand that it's fake. Okay? They don't understand that it's for entertainment. Okay? That's the way you got to look at casual fans. So, yes, first take undisputed soap operas. I agree. But at the same time, to the general populace, they're going to take their word as gospel. And at the end of the day, when you look at the debates and the arguments when it comes to who's the GOAT or who was great and who wasn't, the reason why Penny Hardaway's name ain't coming up in everyday conversation is because only the hardcore basketball fans remember. You know what I'm saying? Like the casual fan, like a lot of people are going to be forgotten, and once more time goes on, they're only going to remember the big stuff. So yeah, it does. This foul, the way that the media has been moving, it 1,000% is affecting people's legacies long term, and that's the part that I have a problem with, Mark, and I don't like it. I absolutely thought Steph deserved a unanimous MVP. Absolutely thought Steph deserved it. I also thought MJ deserved it. I also thought Shaq deserved it. LeBron deserved it. Like, there's a lot of people that deserved it that they were gatekeeping on because they didn't want them to be the first, or they just didn't want anybody to have it at all.
And it's not just NBA. Because guess what? T.O. deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is the second. He's the second best wide receiver of all fucking time. And the only reason why he's not recognized as the second best wide receiver of all time is because of the media narrative that they placed on him. And so everybody made Randy Moss the darling, even though Randy Moss has done more egregious things to a team than T.O. ever has, but because the media didn't mess with T.O., they vilified T.O. and then they held him back from being the first ballot.
Hey, you know what's funny, Mark? They always say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But when I tell you that this man Randy Moss struck a media member with a vehicle,
and then kept driving
at the practice facility, dog, on live television. And the media just overlooks that. But they remember every single word that T.O. has ever said to them. Just look at Skip Bayless, man. They remember every single word that T.O. ever said to them or somebody that was in the media, like journalism or whatever, that was their friend. They remember every single word, man. They can say whatever they want. I've watched Randy Moss hit somebody with a car.
Right.
Like a media member with the car, live television. Yeah, he was going like 10 miles an hour. I don't care. He hit somebody with a car, told him to move out the way. They was trying to ask him questions about why he just now showed up to camp. Move out the way. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, man, he quit on the Vikings.
Quit on the Raiders.
And then in the twilight of his career, he went to the Niners and was a decoy for an entire season. But if you look at T.O.'s last season,
T.O. was putting up numbers his last season.
It's just really weird that everybody
they shooed him out the league, even though he just had a season of 900 yards.
Yeah, people act like these things didn't happen, and that's my issue with it. Randy Moss, everybody talks about Randy Moss. Oh, he never had any good quarterbacks. He had Tom Brady, and I'm going to say this. He had Tom Brady for 2 years, 2 full years. Third year, I think he got hurt. That was the Matt Castle season. And the wildest thing to me, Mark, is Matt Castle was cooking. But guess what?
I mean, he had Dante Culpepper, bro. Like,
look, Dante. If there's one thing Dante Culpepper do, he can throw a long ball. Don't play with me, man. So, and that's where most of his damage was done when he was with the Vikings. Let's stop playing, man. So,
Yo, I feel like we triggered ourselves with the TO thing. I'm not going
to. We did. Okay. Well, the last thing I was going to say is Randy Moss had 3 seasons there. He only had 1 good season or 1 great season receiving. I mean,
we apologize, guys. When it comes to TO, hey,
you got me fired up, Mark. I almost put on my Niners hat, dog.
That's my wide receiver, man.
Nah, you got me. Like, nah. Hey, Matt is a TO guy too, so we understand each other. You know.
Yeah,
he's a TO guy. So
that's my wide receiver, baby. You can't talk about my guy. Yeah, but anyway, man.
Yeah, let's get back on track, man. My bad, Mark.
back to sports media needing to take a step back. Do you have anything else left for this topic?
Honestly, the only thing I wanted to say is something has to change soon. We're watching the changes live right now with the way that sports is being covered. Mark, I'm sure you're like me. 90% of the coverage that I consume is away from big media. It's all in sports podcasts. Okay? In most of these sports podcasts, not all of them, but most of these sports podcasts are ran by players. And that's the way that I consume my sports information. So the wave, when it initially came, people were like, nah, it's not going to change. It has changed. You got it is what it is doing better than Undisputed right now.
Oh, 1,000%.
Okay, so like it's changing. I want to see the same change, Mark, coming when it comes to the voting for these All-Star games, for these Pro Bowls, all of this stuff. The voting has to change. You got to strip away the voting powers from mainstream media and journalists. Either we strip it away until they act right, or we just strip it away forever if they don't want to. But something needs to change because they are now messing with the validity of people's legacies.
Here's the thing, man. I'm gonna say this right now. See, that's the part I was waiting for you to get to, because you said they are now. It's not a noun thing.
You might be right, Mark. You might be. No, you are right. I'm not gonna. My bad. You are right.
It's not a noun thing. This is how it's always been. Like, I mean, because you look at the disputes where like a few MVPs in the early 90s, and they's like, Dominique should have won this. Like, how didn't Dominique win? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at those and you see those MVPs where it's like they've always been playing favorites.
And their narratives are being driven. Narratives are always being driven. And I'll be honest,
it's just that before
Shaq has 1 MVP.
Right. It's just that it's just that before we didn't have the peek behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Like, we you know what I mean? Now we behind the curtain, and Richard Pryor is saying everything they say about me is true.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because we can see the relationships now.
Because we have global access to it all. We're not reading it through a newspaper. We seeing every game. Like you said earlier, we are seeing every game for ourselves now.
Hey,
we're watching everything now. So it's not like, so you can't dictate a narrative as easily because we can see it all just as clearly as you can.
Well, not only are we seeing that, we're seing the personalities of these media members.
Right.
We thought they was just showing up and doing their jobs. Now we finding out they got favorites. Brian Windhorst is only a thing of
he's only famous because of LeBron James.
Because they went to high school together. Because they had a relationship. It's the only reason why he got his job at ESPN. I 1,000% believe it's the reason why we have unlimited coverage of LeBron at any given time. But we get to see the burner accounts, Mark. We get to see all these things. We get to see, like you say, peeking behind the veil. Now we're catching people. You know what I'm saying? We're catching them in real time right now, 4K. So,
right. Yeah. So like, it's not. But yeah, that's all. That's the only part. It's not new. It's just that it's time. It's not like, oh, they're doing something new. It's just that we now know what you're doing.
Hey, I was gonna bring up a police body cam comment, but we don't need to go there. We go
Right.
off on another tangent. But you guys know what I'm talking about. These things didn't just start happening now. You
Yeah,
know?
you know what I'm saying? Like you
Nah.
can't say, oh, he threatened me anymore. Your body cam shows us.
Yeah. We getting to see, like you said, peek behind the veil now. So yeah, but yeah, I'm with you on that. I think we made our point with the sports media stuff. And to be very clear, I know there's some people that might consider us to be sports media. When we say sports
Nope.
media, we're talking about
Well,
mainstream.
if you consider me sports media, I will be happy to be considered that, because
Yeah.
we talk to an audience of 10 like nightly, and then get replayed by 30. Like, so you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
But if you consider us sports media, that's one thing. But we're specifically talking about big media. We're talking about the guys that you see every day. They're nationally syndicated, all that stuff. Like mainstream sports media, not just the people on TV. We're talking about the journalists too. So
I
yeah,
can only hope to be sports media one day.
man, yeah. So we can show them how to do this shit right. You know what I mean? Exactly. With
But anyway.
integrity. But yeah.
But listen, man, this is the thing. Like, I feel as though this is the only place that you guys will have this type of conversation about sports. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe this ain't the type of conversation y'all want to have tonight, and you guys could feel free to mention what type of conversation you would have had tonight. But like, you're not going to get these type of topics elsewhere. I don't think.
No,
So-
I doubt it, man. Because even with some of these player ran podcasts, you're starting to notice as they get bigger and as they start getting more players on their platform, they're starting to value or prioritize relationships over truth or over truth seeking, Mark. There's certain guys that they're not going to ask certain questions, and there's certain things that they're not going to say in front of certain guys, and then consequently, after they leave the show, there's certain things they're not going to say about certain guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing that with All the Smoke, right? I'm seeing that with, I've seen a couple of episodes already of It Is What It Is, where I was like, man, they kind of tiptoeing around that.
Yeah,
No.
man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want the Drake feature, you're going to say Drake defeated Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. If you want Drake to show up on your show, he's run your numbers up, man, and you might be trying to leave the door open. You're trying to leave the door
You know what I'm saying? You're going to say Push Ups was a phenomenal record when it was.
But real quick though, I want to let you guys. I'm gonna give you guys some insight, man. When we decided to do this podcast, we had a lot of conversations, me and Mark, about the direction of where we wanted to go with this. And one of the topics that came up was whether or not we want to strive to have former players, current players, whoever on our platform. And we like the idea, obviously, because there's certain conversations, there's certain questions we can ask, and we get, you get an answer directly straight from the horse's mouth or whatever. But we also understood that because we are going to keep our integrity about us, that would probably turn sour to the point to where not only will it prevent those certain players from coming back on, but it would also have them spreading the word and telling other players not to come on our platform. But we also understood that also consequently, if you get too big, can lead to you being blackballed. Okay, so our dreams are bigger than just what we're doing right now, and we don't want to risk those types of things. We want to do this our way, and we want to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And we want to get big enough to where we could give everybody, not just you guys, but everybody the truth, and everybody the conversations that should be happening, that we all say should be happening, but we don't see it happening on TV. And I feel like once you start having players on And once you start moving in those circles and media members, and you get a Stephen A. Smith on and stuff like that, wow, thank you. But either way, we don't want to end up like that. We don't want to end up like Gilly.
Nah.
Gilly more weird, funny style type stuff, man. Hey, Gilly, dog. What's going on, man? You trying to get on the Drake track? Let's say you trying to get him on the show. You clearly trying to get him on the show, Mark.
Hey, man.
Gilly moving real funny right now.
Disgusting. Hey, but he the chicken man. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, hey, they brought up that Chicken Man video. I was like, yo, Gilly, go sit down, man. They're gonna cook you. They're gonna roast you, dog. Hey, let that shit go before they find more. Let it go.
Hey, as long as they don't flame him for the Yeah That's Us days, you know what I'm saying? As long as they don't flame him for that back then, we good.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say first off, man, we talked about this before in the past about major figures. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I'm only gonna allow a certain amount of Gilly slander when it comes to rapping. But I will say this, Mark. The funniest thing I've seen was like, you said, okay, I understand the metaphor. I see you, but if you eating the chicken, don't that mean you just smoke crack? Like, they was really giving it to Gilly, man. They was really giving it to Gilly out there, man.
Hey, man, if they offer you know what? I feel you. I understand what you said. If they offer up the multi-millions, my code word will be what did Stephen A. say back then? He was like, my code word will be, I wake up in the morning,
don't say it,
and I look myself in the mirror and I think to myself, how can I make my bosses more money?
Look, Mark is speaking for himself. I ain't waking up saying that. I'm not thinking that.
Like that'll be my code word.
Hey, look. Mark.
By the way, that is a real quote from Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, that's
a legit quote.
Yo, man, nah, man. Like, nah, man. No, sir. Sorry, but but honestly, if they offer us a multi-million-dollar contract to be a Stephen A. Smith, I need that to be specific. Do they want me to be a puppet? Because let me tell you something. Let me do that. I will have somewhere in the contract where me and Mark still get to keep this podcast and we still get to talk how we talk. And they could be like, man, that sounds different than what he was saying on ESPN the other day. You're damn right, because that's just, I'm getting paid to say that. Like, it's going to be very clear that I'm getting paid to say that. There's no way, shape, or form that I will allow myself to become Stephen A. Smith, man. I'm not going to allow myself to become Skip Bayless. Look, I'll take the money, Mark. I'm with you. I'll take the money. But we're going to keep this podcast and we're going to really talk how we want.
All right. You know? Real quick, man, before we get out of basketball or whatever we're talking about, how you see the rest of the series going between the Knicks and Pacers?
I'll be honest with you. The Knicks are banged up and they're tired. Before, I didn't have a problem. I'm not going to say I didn't have a problem with the minutes, but I don't think the minutes were affecting them before because they still had a rotation going. Now, everybody's playing minutes. It's not just the 3 stars. So, I'm saying 3 stars, but it's not just the 3 main players. It's not just Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and Brunson. So now you got more players playing a lot. So, yeah, I think the Knicks are done here, man. Even if, like, I know Rob just said if the Knicks lose tonight, it's over. Even if they win tonight, it's over, Mark. I don't think they can finish the job right now in the state that they're in. Health-wise, they got too many players missing, and they got to play too many minutes, dog. He said, hey, real quick. Hey, real quick, Chris, in the Jeans Fitness, Chris said, then you're going to get accused of code switching for money, bro. Hey, Chris.
Hey, man, you're going to see Sean in a velour sweatsuit doing boxing moves in his living room.
Absolutely not.
with his trainer.
Absolutely not. I will never look like that throwing punches. Let me tell you. But first off, you know what I'm saying? Look, there's only when you say code switching, I think that's a different conversation. Giving an opinion that is not mine for money, maybe, but I can only do that if everybody knows what my real opinion is. My problem with these dudes is I don't know. Like you don't get even on Stephen A's podcast because I know Matt Petty. You mentioned it. I still feel like he's still filtered a bit on his own podcast. I'm telling you right now, put me in that position. I'm being unfiltered, completely unfiltered. I need it to be known what my real opinion is. I can't live with myself as a man. Maybe you call me stupid to say, hey, they tell me, hey, you can't do a separate podcast. You can only do this. Take the money or not. Like, bro, I gotta go home and live with myself. Like I don't know, man. It's a decision I would have to make. But that's crazy, Mark.
Right now.
In the velour suit, throwing punches is crazy, Mark. I don't even know why you would say that about me.
Hey, man. Hey, I know you, dog. I know how you be.
No, you obviously don't. You don't know me. I thought you knew me, but you obviously don't.
I know you. I know you well, man. Nah. Hey, but listen, and just to let you know, it's about that time to advance.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. With this game right now, I'll tell you right now, Sean, that the Knicks are up by 8 in the second quarter.
Second quarter's early, Mark.
Yeah, very early, and they're not up by a lot. I'm just saying.
If you playing 46 minutes, second quarter ain't far enough, man. That ain't 8 points ain't enough.
I'm just stating the facts of the matter here, the facts of life, sir. That's all I'm stating.
So I want to be very clear. When I said the Knicks are done, I mean the NBA can't save them because the NBA wants to save them, but I'm trying to tell you the NBA can't even save them.
All right. So here we go. This is our last topic of the evening, guys. This is another quick episode. I'm liking these ones. Anyway, watching every NFL game can cost you up to $850. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes that have been going around or the little captions that have been going around in the sports groups about how if you want to catch every NFL game this year, it could cost you possibly up to $850. And the reason why it's priced like that is because the price of YouTube, for the price of the YouTube package for every game, and then you have certain games that will only be on Peacock.
Yep.
And now Netflix has entered the fray. And then you have to have an Amazon subscription to catch the Thursday nights. And then you have to have, so you got Amazon, you have YouTube, you have Peacock, and now Netflix has also entered the fray. You have all these services that will add up to basically be almost $850 for the season. And how do you guys feel about that? Like that this is the direction that the NFL is going, where it is becoming less and less accessible to the public.
Real quick, man. I'm gonna look at two comments. Rob saying this shit's crazy, $850. I'm with you on that, Rob. Velos, he's already jumped way ahead of the schedule there. Mark, he said NFL needs to stream like the MLB. If you don't know, MLB and the NBA both have packages that are through the NBA network and through MLB, to where you can get the complete package where you can watch every game, or you can get a package to where you just watch your team. I could just get a Seattle Mariners package, right? To where I just watch all the Mariners games. Or same thing with the NBA. The NBA, even, I don't know if they still do it, but when they first started it, they had the package to where not only can you just say, okay, I want to watch all the Kings games, but I want to have a camera viewpoint from seat 238, and you can do that, right? So they have all these very specific packages and different levels of packages for the for NBA and MLB. And I agree with Bellos on this, with Brian Bellos on this, because it's like, if you there's two types of fans in this world, especially when it comes to the NFL. You have fans like my wife, for example, who's like, look, I'm just trying to watch my team play. Yeah, I guess if the Monday night game's on, I'll catch that too. But really, I'm just here to watch Colts games. And then you have fans like me and Mark, who I'm going to watch my team's games, but I'm also trying to watch all the other games happening around the league because I'm just an NFL fan as well. So there should be an option for both types of fans. And I feel like the NFL doesn't give you that. And I'm just going to bring this up because me and Mark talked about it, and Mark was like, yo, wouldn't it make more sense for the NFL to make all their money coming back to them by making it go through their own network? Making it go through their app? Like you said, MLB's already doing it. The NBA's already doing it. I don't understand why the NFL is not. But then when you look at these deals, if we're paying $850, I can only imagine the amount of money that these services have paid the NFL, because us paying the $850 is those services making their money back because they paid the NFL that much.
Right. Like they're not in here for
this ain't charity.
Yeah, they ain't for charity. So they in here for profit. So if we're paying $850, how much did they pay to the NFL to get that? And this is how much they have to charge us to make that back.
Yeah. So
now,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now Mark Ross says, I'm cool on all that. That's why pirates exist. Hey man.
Arg.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
you know what I mean? It is what it is, baby.
Hey, look. Get your Jack Sparrow on.
You know what I mean? You gotta now with that, but here's the thing about that, because underneath that it says Arthur Blank wants to earn your money while the league is doing a shakedown. Now, the reason why we brought that up is because this is very much what is going on. Arthur Blank, in his concession stands and in the things that they have going on at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, it's run differently than any other NFL stadium. It's the only NFL stadium where the team that owns the stadium runs all the concessions first party. None of it is third party. They do it all themselves. There's no third party vendor in that stadium whatsoever. Everything is through them. Now, and that's how they are allowed. That's how they have been able to keep the prices down. They keep their ticket. They are one of the lower price tickets that you could purchase, even though the team is a popular team. They have $2 hot dogs. I don't know when the last time you guys been to a game, but I guarantee you're not getting a $2 hot dog anywhere but Atlanta.
I've never had a $2 hot dog at any professional sports game. Simple. Yeah.
So you got that. They are running their stuff. And while running their own stuff, they are also making more money than anyone else. They're getting more return than anyone else. And they also are selling more merchandising in the stadium than anyone else. And that's because people aren't breaking their wallet in a snack to hold them over for 3 hours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When I'm not spending $150 on food, I can spend $100 on a jersey. You know what I mean? I can spend $100 on a t-shirt and a hat. Um, and I'll be honest with you, man. It's nice to have keepsakes from the game. Like I was telling you, I went to the Aviators games there in Las Vegas, the semi-pro team. If you guys aren't familiar, that's the AAA team for the Oakland A's. So Vegas will actually have the AAA team and the professional team in the same city. But with that said, I go to the games. I get me the Dippin' Dots ice cream because I get to keep the little souvenir helmet. You know what I'm saying? I go get me a drink and I get to keep the cup, the Aviators cup. You know, and then they might have a jersey day where they're giving out free jerseys when you come into the park. They have the fan appreciation day. Like I like having the keepsakes from the games to say that I win. You know, and it's a reminder that I had an experience with my family when we went to the game. You know what reminder I don't like having? Looking at my bank account and seeing that shit be empty, Mark. I don't like that. I don't like that keepsake. You guys can have that. You know what I'm saying? And then I think about it and I'm like, I don't even remember what I got because I don't got nothing at home. I already ate it and shit it out. Like, yeah, it's gone already. You know, $250 down the drain because I wanted to have a good day, a good time with my family. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I really appreciate what Arthur Blank is doing. If I ever get the opportunity or ever in the area, which I might because I have family that's nearby there, they usually get, you know, I might not even have to pay for tickets to go to an Atlanta game. So if I get that opportunity to join my cousin and go to a Falcons game and get some box seats or whatever, yeah, man, I'm absolutely going to go in there and spend my money because the way I see it is you put like us as fans, that's the power that we have. If you want to send a message, hey, we don't like that, don't spend your money there. If you want to say a message that we do like that, you spend your money there. And that's what they understand is dollars and cents, and that's the way I would show my appreciation. It's going up in there, buying some merchandise, getting a couple of $2 hot dogs, I guess, you know, and enjoying my time there. So shout out to Arthur Blank for doing things in a way that shows some type of appreciation for the fans that show up and show out and line the pockets.
All right, but yeah, man. Like, and the thing is, we bring that up because what Arthur Blank is doing is what the NFL itself should do, not only in their stadiums, but when it comes to the way that we watch these games. No, stop the third party stuff. Like before, you didn't have a network, you didn't have that ability, you didn't have none of that.
You needed NBC, you needed all them.
Yeah, but now you have NFL Network. You're established. There's internet for other people to get the NFL Network. You don't have to do all these extra things. You can control these games yourself, your package yourself. And then the advertising revenue that people want to put on your games and all that stuff, that would all go directly to you instead of somebody else. But you are too busy collecting the billions from this person or that person instead of doing it yourself. When in fact, you already have the staff, you already have your broadcasting staff and all that stuff because you guys do control the Thursday night broadcast or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? You have these guys in place, but you're not doing it. And it's weird. So I feel like the NFL should adopt the Arthur Blank idea when it comes to how we watch these games. And it shouldn't be through all these different parties and apps. But it'll be a little while before that is even possible now because you're contracted now. And I think some of them is contracted for like at least 10.
There's long contracts.
So
and real quick, I know we're about to get off here, Mark. I'm going to address a couple of things very quickly. We got Indigene's Fitness here saying it would be one thing if I only used those apps for football, like my YouTube, TV. I cancel my cable. I like it better. already. I already had Prime and Peacock, so these apps have more value. You're missing the point. They made a complete post and made it a headline to say we got X amount of millions of subscribers on Peacock specifically just because we had this NFL game that was exclusively on Peacock. That's where, so you say it's a value for you. I say the people that don't have those things, which is not a majority of the United States, they were forced to get it just so they can watch the game.
I mean,
therein lies the problem.
And in the genes, I'm not pocket watching, but I do believe that you're not hurting for $1.
Yeah, you're not making $35,000 a year, and you're teetering on the brink of I make too much to get assistance, but I don't make enough to survive. Now, if you're going through life paycheck to paycheck and you just want to watch football, it would be infuriating if you had to go get a Peacock subscription, an Amazon subscription, just so you could watch a game, bro. So, yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to address was Bellows. He said the future is teams selling their viewership rights in the NFL. Padres did it in the MLB in streaming their games. Prices are cheaper for the year or monthly payments. That's my fear. Okay.
Right.
My fear is you have
individual teams doing their own thing.
Teams doing this. So now I'm a Niners fan. Everybody else's games are on Fox. You know what I'm saying? And I can watch them anytime. But now the 49ers have sold their rights to the NFL for streaming. And now there's blackout games where usually every single local game will be played on TV. And now there's blackout games for local games, for home games. And that's what that leads to. And that's why I feel like it's a slippery slope. So that's something that I absolutely fear is teams selling their rights to the actual leagues themselves, because the leagues have shown no type of self-control when it comes to, hey, if we can make a profit, we don't care if it pisses off the fans.
Well, but yeah, man, it should always be about the fan, because the fan is the only reason why you are able to do what you do. And it's not just about the fan in the stand. It's about the fan that is able to sit down in front of the TV and watch, because that fan dictates how you get money through the advertisements, because you're not getting paid because people are watching football. You're getting paid because you're not getting paid just because they're looking at football. You're getting paid because advertisers want their ads shown while the many people are watching football. The advertisers are paying you for the many people that are watching. If you take away the assets of the people, then eventually the eventuality is that the advertising dollar will shrink, because not as many people are watching as you would like. And this is a problem that the MLB has faced. This is a problem that the NHL has faced.
Yeah, because MLB started putting all this stuff on FS1. I remember when that happened.
Yeah, that's exactly. They signed a contract. They signed a contract that was supposedly lucrative, and nobody was watching these games. Nobody
at that time. FS1 was a premium channel.
Right.
It wasn't part of a regular package, so nobody was watching those games, man.
And guess what? MLB stopped making as much money because there wasn't the advertising dollars started to shrink up,
and that's where they make a majority of their money. You think it's sales, you think it's ticket sales, you think it's jersey sales. It's not. Majority of the money, the largest chunk of money they get is from advertising.
So that's the part Like learn from, and now you see MLB has become more as accessible again, and now it's starting to grow again a little bit. Like there's several reasons why MLB is starting to grow again, but
Yeah, that's one of the
that's
big.
one of them.
Yep.
And
So, yeah.
and look at the NHL. The NHL is still trying to figure out how to make themselves more accessible, or how to basically stop being the fourth best
Mm.
sport in
In
America.
America. Yeah, you're right.
Like the NHL
It's
is
definitely bigger
definitely
than
in
baseball.
danger of being taken over by soccer or football.
Yeah,
The other football.
the other football. Yeah, that's crazy.
So
But yeah,
but anyway, that's all we got tonight, guys. Um kind of an abrupt ending, but it really is all we got. We ain't got nothing
yeah,
else. Uh, um and we appreciate you guys for sticking around and talking to us, uh listening to our opinions on these off topics about what's going on in our sports world. um
mhm.
it's a slow time right now. I do want to talk to some, maybe next week. Let's see if we can get some sports bettors on and
Yeah,
talk about that, because that'll probably be our next episode, is having a conversation with some sports bettors. Um, but we appreciate you guys for watching. It's always fun when you guys are here with us. Uh, and yeah, man, remember at the end of the day, none of this is really sports. It's all sports entertainment.
Mhm. Yeah. Remember that when you bet.
All right.
All
Peace.
right. Peace. Yeah.